And a traveling call up top on Lunsford. So another turnover. Titans take over.
I think there's just, but they're moving the ball well. It's just, like I said, it's a slow pace early. I think teams still might be waking up slow. You know, cloudy, rainy day outside, kind of dreary. So we'll see if we can get the action going.
Feed inside. Shots rejected underneath as Hassan tried to take it up. It's going to be Titans ball underneath their own basket. Set up their inbounds play with lots of movement. Easy feed in. Into the lane. Shot goes up and will roll in for Kanaya Lindsay.
Just a great move there, Glenn, off the screen on the what we call a blob in the basketball world, a baseline out of bounds. So great job by the Titans to get a bucket there.
Turnover by the Trojans. Speak tried to get the offense set. Now back under the Titans basket and a foul underneath. Be going to the free throw line to shoot two.
Peak had 4 girls on her and still was pretty much almost able to get a shot up. So we'll see if she can knock these 2 down and extend the Titans' lead.
Lindsay will shoot a pair. First shot is good. Second shot rolls off, rebound underneath, batted around. Lady Trojans recover in the corner. They'll bring it down in transition. There's a trap at midcourt and a travel will be called on the Lady Trojans.
Great job by Dee Weathers there, Glenn, to come up and help and really force that turnover.
Quickly back down into the Titans offensive half court. Desperation shots put up off the rim. Lady Trojans rebound underneath. Bring it down into their half court. Cross court path. Cutter down to the basket. We'll kick it back out. 3-point shot's going to go up and off the back iron for Peak. Rebounded by the Titans.
Looks like the Lady Trojans are running like a 4-out or a 4-out offense, Glenn, which I would like to see them more people in the paint and attacking the basket.
Lindsay tried to dribble through for the Titans, ran into a trap and was forced into a traveling call. 6-2 Titans, just under 5:30 remaining in the opening quarter. Peak gets the ball down quickly, but now she's facing a trap. Nobody's coming to help her, David.
Yeah, there's not a lot of movement, and looks like North College Hill will get a timeout in here early.
Yeah.
Full timeout.
So right into the hands of that trap at the 5:15 mark, and no one was coming to help.
Yeah, you know, Glenn, the way to beat a trap is there's somebody open, so you got to pass the ball and you got to help your teammate out. You got to move without the ball. That's going to be the thing tonight for these two teams, is moving without the ball and, you know, really creating plays away from the ball so that they can attack the basket. So we'll see what both coaches draw up here for the Lady Titans and the Lady Trojans.
Speaking of those coaches, the Titans head coach is Ashley Gibbs, and for the Lady Trojans, Dante Barker. David, you have tonight's officials?
Oh, yeah. So we've got David Lyklocks, Phil Bowling, and Eric Bender. And Glenn, like what we talked about before, there is a desperate need for officials in the state of Ohio. So if you have any interest in being a football, basketball, volleyball, soccer, baseball, you name all the sports, if you have any interest in being an official, please sign up. Being an athletic director, we rely on our officials every game. So it's not the fanciest job, but it's a needed job, Glenn.
It's a bad problem getting worse, unfortunately. So I'm sure if you reach out to your athletic department, your local community, they'll get you in touch with the right people. Back to action here on the court. Long pass from the corner by Peak up top. Was intended for Holmes, but ultimately Lunsford comes up with it. Now she's dribbling up top. She's going to try to force it in. It's tipped away by the Titans, but back to a Trojan. Long three-pointer from the left side's off the mark.
Good ball movement, Glenn. I just would like to see like a bounce pass and not a lob pass. Those lob passes leave open a lot of turnovers, and as you've seen here, St. Bernard had some crisp passes, but nobody could handle it.
That one came in a little hot for the Titans. It's taken away by the Trojans. Shot underneath is no good. Now there's a lot of white jerseys to try to fight through, and a whistle on the floor for 3 seconds.
Man, when was the last time you saw that called?
It's been a while. You know, one thing about these Titans, I'm noticing they will swarm with that trap. And North College Hill's going to have to figure out a way to kick the ball out and bring some help in, as we talked about before that last time out at the 5:15 mark. Quickly down. Shot is deflected underneath. It'll stay with the Titans.
And I think, Glenn, we'd be in a lot of gyms. You'd hear a lot of complaining that wasn't a foul, so they're letting them play tonight.
And maybe due to the thin numbers on the benches.
Absolutely.
Talking with officials or administrators for the game, injuries, players moving out of town and so forth. So that's a 3 ball for Mackenzie Watson. 8-2. Shot partially deflected. Reeled in by the Titans' Lindsay. Now we're going to have a tie-up right in front of our broadcast position. It'll stay with the Titans on the jump ball.
I think St. Bernard's going to be looking here to get it to Lindsay. Whether I think somebody sets her a screen and she cuts to the rack or something. We're getting a sub too.
Kaylin Thurman-Elson checking in to the game for Dee Weathers. Off the foot, unfortunately, of Hassan. She'll pick it up, and that's an over and back.
But she should have let it go out of bounds, because then the ball would have been thrown in at half court and not,
down in the Trojans' offensive half court.
Right. But that's just my opinion.
Well, understood. As we said at the top of the show, a lot of youth on these teams, so coaching opportunities. And we're going to get a tie-up, alternating possession. It'll stay with North College Hills, so we'll try it again.
As you said, Glenn, there's just not a lot of movement from the Trojans. They just don't know what to do once they're in their offensive half court.
So Zaya Shields is going to check in to the game for Deja Lunsford. Trojans cross over mid-court. A little bit of trouble with the ball. It's deflected away. Actually, Lunsford staying on the floor. Apologies for that. Ball down into the corner, nearly a tie-up. Able to dribble out of it is Holmes.
Great defense.
Yeah, now Holmes under pressure up top, and we're going to get a foul.
Might have taken a little push there from Kone, but, I mean, great defense to, follow her, the person she's guarding all the way up to pretty much half court. And, and almost could have gotten a turnover or a 5-second call, but just a little too handsy, so take the foul.
That'll be a kick, so we'll try it again right in front of a scores table across the floor. Going to be tough to get this one in, but they do. Kicking it way back to Horton, who's now going to be met with that trap at midcourt. Titans showing some press and a travel. So the press having the intended effect for the Titans.
They're playing defense really well, Glenn. And I mean, it's been a defensive battle right now, and we're going to see who's going to be able to start knocking down shots. And there's another turnover.
Yep, came in too hot for Lindsay and picked up by Lunsford. Shot was deflected underneath. Titans with possession. Bringing it down is Watson, and she'll draw a foul.
Great idea there by Bria Holmes to try and take the charge, but I think her feet just were a little late on getting set, but we'll be shooting two.
Watson will go to the line and shoot a pair for the Titans. First shot bangs through. 4 points in the game for Watson thus far. Second one bounces off. Rebound underneath by Owens. Here come the Lady Trojans. Titans in full pursuit.
Good ball movement to settle.
Lady Trojans able to get it around on the perimeter. Once they get inside that three-point circle, it's becoming a different animal, and there's a turnover. Lindsay gonna put it up, try to go coast to coast. Shot clings off. 2 shots put up and won't fall through after the initial shot. The Trojans come up with the ball. It's going to be a hard foul on Thurman Ellison. Looked like a football move more than a basketball move. That was just to lower the shoulder and break her momentum.
That's one way to stop the transition offense.
All right. Have to be careful with the fouls. We talked about some thin benches, and both teams pretty young. Regardless, Trojans with possession. Works through the top layer of the Titans defense. Now they'll kick it back out and reset. Cutter across the baseline, but player with the ball can't get past the defense.
Looks like that's Brian
Coney.
Holmes.
Yeah, Coney's being very aggressive defensively. North College Hill has to take another timeout with 1:46 remaining here in the opening quarter.
Be a 30-second timeout. They're down to 3.
Yeah, that's quick use of hands for timeouts.
Yeah.
Early on in the game when you're trailing by 7.
And you know that, Glenn, that's like the bad part about having these young teams is, you know, even though we're just over halfway through the season, you know, some things still aren't clicking, and you got to call a timeout there just to, you know, have a teachable moment where, like, in a scrimmage or preseason, you could stop here and not have to waste anything. But, you know, we're in the regular season, we're in the heart of it. So you got to use that, and we'll see what Coach draws up for the Lady Trojans. And, you know, they've got a good position, and thank God there's no shot clock yet here in the state of Ohio, and we'll see what they're able to do with it.
So resetting the scene for you, 1:46 remaining in the opening quarter. It's 9-2 Titans, each team with 2 fouls. Thus far in the game, North College Hill has used 2 timeouts. Titans still have all of theirs at this point. Lady Trojans with the ball, inbounding in a familiar spot next to the scorer's table. Seems like that's about the 5th time they've inbounded over there. And a quick traveling call, substitution for North College Hill.
Don't think they drew that one up there, Glenn, but, you know, you get happy feet, so it happens.
Lonnie Horton back in. Good ball movement by the Titans. Shot goes up from 15. It's deflected away. It'll stay with the Titans. North College Hill thought maybe they were the last person to touch it and didn't go after the ball, but it's going to stay with the Titans.
You know, Glenn, unless there's absolute uncertainty that you didn't touch it, go after it. That's just my opinion. That's all about hustle and effort.
Trying to drive through there was Coney, but Kanaya Lindsay's able to clean that one up. Unofficially 5 points in the game for her. It's 11-2 as we wind down to 1 minute or so remaining in the opening quarter. 3-ball rattles around but won't come through. Rebounded underneath by the Titans. Lindsay passes ahead. Quick pass over. Shot up from 15 feet. Will bank in for Amina Kone.
Man, Glenn, like I told you, West Banco's open early or late tonight. Can't miss.
North College Hill has not been getting many of those bank shots, and the rim's not been friendly to them down here.
Your point exactly.
Titans back with possession, approaching 35 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Thought that might have been a travel there.
Don't know if she didn't have control or what, but all right. We'll see what the Trojans can do with 20 seconds. Got to get 1 shot.
Referee reached for his whistle off the top of the glass, and I do mean the top. It's no good. Rebounded by the Titans. Lindsay's going to drive down 1-on-2, and she'll draw a foul. There'll be a blocking foul underneath. I believe that'll go on Lunsford. It's her first, the team's third for Deja Lunsford. And Lindsay will make her second trip to the free throw line.
Just a pure shot, Glenn. I mean, nothing but nylon. And great form, takes her time at the free throw line. You got to 10 seconds, so great job by Kanaya Lindsay.
Brian Holmes checks in for Lunsford for the Lady Trojans. Lindsay's second shot is up and good. 7 unofficially of her team's 15, just 11 seconds remaining here. North College Hill not in a real hurry to bring this ball down.
Now you got to start going with 5 seconds left. Try and find someone on an open shot. You got to shoot it now. Shoot it.
Desperation three is going to go up and it'll be off the mark. So at the end of one, it is the Titans 15, the Lady Trojans 2. We're going to step away for a break and be right back. You're watching ICRC-TV Sports.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Welcome back to St. Bernard, Elmwood Place High School. Glenn Olson and David Olson here with you. The second quarter just about to get underway as Alexis Wallace will inbound the ball right in front of our broadcast position here at midcourt. And we are underway. Dee Weathers will bring it down for the Titans. Nifty move there. Thinks about driving into the paint. Kicks it back out. Titans will move the ball around on the perimeter. Lofty pass, I guess you could say. Thinking about driving in. Kicks it back out.
Oh, look at her in the post. Oh, all right.
Shot will go up and over the rim. It'll be off the Titans underneath. Trojans ball. Not the cleanest offensive series there for the Titans. Not able to get through that Trojans defense. Trojans getting their first shot on offense, however, and that attacking, pressing defense of the Titans persists.
Uh-oh, here we go.
It's going to be a turnover and an over and back. Ball will go to the Titans and a substitution for North College Hill. Dejo checking back into the game. Wallace will handle the rebounding duties underneath.
Just a lack of, there was just a lot of confusion there, Glenn, in a quick 5. I mean, but just nobody was moving. There wasn't a lot of talking from the Lady Titans, Glenn. So that's something that obviously Coach Gibbs will want to get figured out in her first time out or at halftime in the next 7 minutes. So we'll see what the Trojans did at that first quarter break. They're throwing up good shots. It's just there's a glass cylinder on them and they're not falling.
Free possession more or less of the Titans that they can't take advantage of after the turnover, and to give it away on a unexecuted inbound play is a little frustrating for them.
Absolutely. There's a good steal.
There's a tip. Breakaway. Up off the glass. Won't go. Lady Trojans rebound and a foul. Dee Weathers just couldn't quite get out of the way on that one, and she's going to pick up her first foul of the game.
I don't know how much of Miss Weathers we'll see the rest of the first half with she having all 3 of the Titans fouls so far.
Trojans inbound in front of their own bench. Ball's right at the free throw line. They'll kick it back out.
Travel.
And a travel due to the defense of Wallace rattling the Trojan player with possession. Now we have another substitution. Horton back into the game. Shields, excuse me. Another risky pass. Shots put up and a whistle. Foul is drawn. Kone will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Deja Lunsford picks up her second foul. Lady Trojans now with 4. First shot is up. Looked like it was going to bang off. That one up with some authority, but it found the front iron and bounced through. Second shot on the way. That one will not go. Spatted around underneath. Jackson comes up with it, but another turnover underneath the basket and a travel. They'll give it right back. Holmes looked like she wanted to try to pull up and let her offensive teammates catch up, and her momentum just drug her forward.
Yeah, and there might have been a little bump from the Trojans there to push that foot, but you know, travel's a travel, so we'll see. Ooh, nice little crossover there from Miss Dee Weathers.
Yeah, Weathers being guarded very closely by Lunsford and able to fight through that with the crossover. She's still with the ball, trying to spin out of it. She'll kick it out to Wallace. Back in. Not able to take that Euro step just inside the three-point line is no good for Wallace. Rebound by the Lady Trojans. We're under 6 minutes now in the first half.
Great job by the Trojans defense there to collapse once they're in the paint. I mean, that's what you're taught to do, is collapse once they're in the paint and get five heads to the ball. So
travel will be called on Holmes. She put a shot up. So yet another turnover on a travel substitution. Lindsay's going to check into the game in place of Kone. Trojans going to come down and show some pressure of their own, and a great job that time, knocking that out of bounds by Horton. That's the risk of those long passes like we talked about earlier.
Right, and especially when you telegraph them, Glenn. I mean, you got to be like a Joe Burrow or a Josh Allen. You got to read them with your eyes. I mean, you got to try and do something, you know, throw them off a little bit.
Trying to get it into Weathers that time. It's deflected out of bounds. Ball will stay with the Titans. Now Weathers going to bring it in, and Wallace will take her spot on the floor. Another long pass on the way, if I had to hazard a guess. And risky pass into Lindsay, who was closely guarded. It's batted out of bounds.
You know, Glenn, I would love to just see a ball fake here and then a bounce pass. Just get the ball in, settle, run the offense. Obviously, you're up 14 here if you're St. Bernard. So just stop telegraphing passes and execute, but that's going to be an over and back.
Tried to get that to Jackson. It's deflected away and an over and back on the Trojans. So move the ball across the court to midcourt. Weathers will take a position up just a few feet from her last attempt at an inbounds play.
Need to see a screen here from the Lady Titans, Glenn, you know, and get Kanaya Lindsay open, because the offense is obviously revolving around her and Dee Weathers, and with Weathers throwing in the ball, Lindsay can't really do anything. So if she gets a screen from one of her teammates and gets her open, then they can run the offense.
Peak deflected that last one away. That was intended for Wallace. Now they find Lindsay all the way across the court and a travel. Well, it's a good thing we're not keeping track of the traveling calls tonight, or we'd be out of paper. That must be 15 so far.
It's just a case of the happy feet, Glenn.
5:38 remaining in the first half. Lady Trojans, the clean possession now after the traveling call. See what they can do on offense. They've been struggling with just 2 points thus far in the contest. A couple of balls have rattled in and out. A couple of them have been off the mark. But they definitely have not had an abundance of shot selections, and that's a turnover in their own offensive half court. Lindsay will bring it down. Titans will pass the ball around the perimeter.
Great ball movement. Wide open. That's a pass off the backboard.
Nice job for Mayana Jackson. Able to take that one off the glass and put it right back up. 18-2 Titans, approaching 4:50 to play here in quarter number 2.
Looks like St. Bernard's in a very wide and loose 2-3 zone, or a box and one.
And the Trojans just standing around, not trying to cut into that zone at all. Would have been a great opportunity, to your point, with that wide zone. There's a shot put up in the paint. Pretty strong off the mark. Titans retain possession. Lunsford just inside the three-point line heaves one up. It won't go. Weathers has that one. She's going to pull up at 19 feet, 9 inches. The Titans will pass the ball around the perimeter.
Great ball movement, Glenn.
Just inside the three-point line, another bank shot, Jariah Parker.
Great shot. I mean, great ball movement that left the lady wide open and banks it in and takes an 18-point lead.
Under 4 minutes to go now. North College Hill struggling for answers offensively. Titans still in that wide zone. Deep three ball goes up. Doesn't hit the backboard or rim at all. The Titans are able to save it before it goes out of bounds. They'll come down in transition. Nice pick set there. Drive in. No whistle underneath. Struggle for control, and we're going to get a tie up. North College Hill will sub again. Bria Holmes is going to come back in. Lunsford's going to inbound the ball to Peak. 3:30 remaining. Ball kicked back up top to Lunsford. She surveys the scene to see what she's going to do. Passes it off to Peak.
The Trojans just have to move without the ball, Glenn. It's just a lot of standing and waiting for the ball to get thrown to you when there's just go to the ball or make a play to get open.
Peak was trying to pass that one off for Holmes for a shot. Holmes couldn't handle it. It goes out of bounds. So the Titans will inbound it. Ball's giving it right to Lindsay. Lindsay and Lunsford one-on-one. Lindsay drives to the right of the lane, and she's fouled. She'll go to the free throw line again for the third time tonight.
I think that'll be Lunsford's third, Glenn.
Her third, team's fifth. Lindsay with her first scoring opportunity here in the second quarter. 2 shots to do it. First one goes through. 9 points now unofficially for Lindsay. Couple of dribbles, shots off the mark, rebounded underneath by the Trojans. Lunsford turns that one over. Struggle for control at midcourt. It's kicked out right in front of our position. It'll stay with the Lady Trojans. Lunsford will inbound right at midcourt. Peak will bring it down to set this Lady Trojans offense. Doing a great job on the perimeter. They're just not doing anything inside the circle. 3-point line, that is.
Yeah. But you got to work to get open, Glenn.
The Titans are playing that wide zone, which is making it difficult on the perimeter. Why not send somebody inside and try to take advantage of that wide zone, and maybe you can get a one-on-one with Lindsay underneath. No easy task, right? But still would be an option, better than what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And there's a turnover. Here come the Titans. Lindsay's going to end up with it on the baseline. She'll step back. It's off the mark. Rebounded by the Trojans underneath, and we're going to get a tie-up. Nope. Going to get a foul called on Kanaya Lindsay, though. Her first, team's fourth of this half. So Lady Trojans have the ball. 2:05 mark here of the second quarter. Lunsford's going to bring the ball down. Both teams spread out pretty wide, as we discussed on the last possession. Good defense by Jackson, but she's going to be called for a foul.
The Trojans have a great opportunity to attack a lot of these gaps, Glenn. Like playing that wide zone leaves a lot of gaps open, and that's the whole purpose of beating a zone is attacking gaps, and there's a lot of them. So if you get a ball fake and just at least a hard dribble drive, get people to collapse and kick out for a nice 15 to 16-foot jump shot, you know, that could break the cold streak here for the Trojans.
Yeah. We've said it, it's way too much standing around. Three-pointer's going to fall through, however, though, for Caitlin Mitchell.
There it is. That's all you needed. Just need one.
21-5, approaching the 145 remaining.
That's going to be Lunsford's fourth. I don't think we'll be seeing her till later in the second half.
They're not pulling her out. Well, there's a sub at the bench. We'll see after Lindsay's first shot. She's back to the free throw line again. First shot falls through, and there you go. Lunsford will take a seat. Asia Shields. Or Zaya, excuse me. Checks back in. Second shot for Lindsay on the way. She made both of those. 22-5, approaching 90 seconds. Out of the over the outstretched hands of Mitchell was that pass, another turnover.
I really want to see St. Bernard really just use the clock here wisely, make a lot of good passes and create a great shot instead of taking an okay shot. Set some screens, and there's a turnover, so I was wrong. But
yeah. Owens reached in, and now we'll finally get the tie-up call. But number 24, Selena Owens, reached in and deflected that. Struggle for possession. Stays with the Titans, who lead 23-5, 1:22 remaining. Weathers puts a shot up. She's going to draw a foul, and that'll be on Owens. Nope, they're going to call that on Peak. So that'll be her first. Weathers' first trip to the free throw line. First shot falls through.
Great shot.
5 points unofficially for Weathers, 25-5. We want to give a big welcome for those fans at home streaming live, either on Alta Fiber, Spectrum, Facebook, or YouTube. Appreciate you dialing us up tonight. Ball's deflected out of bounds. Titans will get it back, 1:05 remaining.
Time to really work the clock, get over half court. A lot of strong, crisp passes. Really run the offense.
Good passes so far, but there's a three-pointer it's going to put up and be off the mark. Lady Trojans come up with it underneath, trying to pass it off, deflected back into the hands. Now trying to lead down Holmes, and it's out of bounds.
Holmes was right for calling for it, and she was wide open. Just I think if she would have caught the ball, jump stopped, St. Bernard would have flown right on by. She could have laid it in for two, but just a pass a little too tall.
47 seconds remaining when the ball was brought in. We're now under 40. Titans shot, no good. Lindsay rebound, trying to fight through traffic, no good. Cleaned up by Weathers, no good. And a foul on the floor.
And I think we'll get 1 and 1.
Raya Holmes picks up foul number 2. Kone will make her second trip to the free throw line, where she's 1 of 2 tonight. Make it 2 of 3. Trojans sub in. Second shot on the way for Kone. Rattles out. Trojans track it down. 24 seconds with which to work. And a travel. Zaya Shields lifted that foot as she was looking to pass it somewhere.
One shot here for the Titans.
15 seconds as the ball was inbounded. Going to the hoop is Kone, and it falls through.
Trojans need to move. 5 seconds. Gotta shoot, gotta shoot, gotta shoot.
And that's it. They will not take a half-court shot. And your score at the end of the first half. St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans 28, North College Hill Lady Trojans 5. David and I are going to step away for halftime. We'll be back with the second half of action. You're watching ICRC-TV Sports.
That leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's take a time out to talk about educational athletics. That means the school sports are an extension of the classroom. Student athletes earn the privilege of participation in sports by succeeding during the school day first, before they put on the team uniform after. Student athletes prove that with better attendance records, higher GPAs, and fewer discipline issues than non-student athletes. That's what it means to be a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's take a time out to talk about educational athletics. That means the school sports are an extension of the classroom. Student athletes earn the privilege of participation in sports by succeeding during the school day first, before they put on the team uniform after. Student athletes prove that with better attendance records, higher GPAs, and fewer discipline issues than non-student athletes. That's what it means to be a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Welcome back to St. Bernard Elmwood Place for tonight's coverage of girls varsity basketball. Glenn Olson and David Olson with you here courtside as we're set to get the second half underway. The Titans will inbound at midcourt right in front of where David and I are sitting for tonight's game. Just 3 points in that second quarter for the Trojans, David. Caitlin Mitchell had the three down from the left side, and Lady Trojans trail 28-5 as we're underway here in the second half. Keys to improvement for both teams from you.
You know, I think for the Trojans, it's just movement without the ball. There's just been a lot of standing and a lot of staring, hoping the ball just gets thrown to you from the Lady Trojans. So we'll hope to see that. And then for the Titans, I think it's attacking the rack and, you know, trying to reduce the silly turnovers. A lot of bad passes, so little strong, crisp passes, and just work to get open. I think the Lady Titans will benefit from that.
Just losing the handle on its North College Hill. Titans recover. Slip on the floor, unfortunately. Hopefully she's okay. That she being Mayana Jackson, she slipped right into pain, and she's a little gimpy.
See, usually you'll see like teams go like get like a mop, a towel, or at least go try and kick up some of that fluid that ended up from the court. So we'll see if the teams decide to do that, try and dry it up, or if it was just a misfooting.
No attempt to do so, so it's the Titans ball underneath their rim for this second half on the left of your screen.
You got to go up there, Glenn. If you get the ball right under the hoop, you got to go up. You got to be looking to score.
There's a breakaway. The shot's not going to get near the rim. Will be recovered by the Titans. There's a leading pass down, pulling up and heaving the ball up. Jariah Parker. 4 points in the game unofficially for her, 30-5.
Great job by Parker just to, slow down and let the Trojans defense run right by her and use that glass and put it in and extend the lead to 25.
Well, David, you and I were talking at the break. There is a running clock rule in place now that was implemented a few years ago by the OHSAA. Explain that for our viewers at home in case they're not familiar with it.
So after a team is up 35 points, there will be a running clock the rest of the game unless there is a timeout from the officials or one called by a coach. And then to stop that running clock, the team has to get below a margin of 30 points. So there's a 5-point buffer in there. Being at Roger Bacon, we've been on both sides of that. It is not fun, but, it gets the games going quicker.
There's a foul on the Titans there, and it wasn't able to catch the number. I apologize. Shot put up, bounces off the top of the backboard. It's recovered by the Titans underneath, and a travel. I believe it's our first travel call of the second half.
I think it might be the second, but it's just, I think St. Bernard really needs to use this time being up just to settle and work the ball, pass the ball around the key, and, take advantage of being up. They've lost their last 6. So, there's a lot of teachable moments here for the Titans.
Titans again being aggressive on that zone. Deflected out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Lady Trojans. Lady Trojans need to get somebody over to bring it in once our official tracks the ball down. I think he was expecting one of the players to do so, and nobody really seemed interested in doing it.
I don't think so, Glenn. You got to get the steps in one way or another. There's a steal, maybe. Jump ball. Ooh.
Owens inbounds, and we're going to get a tie-up. Jackson very aggressively there with Peak. Stays with the Trojans. Jackson right back out, aggressive on defense. Well, you can see these Titans are getting right in the Trojans' face, not giving them room to breathe or move at all.
You talk about face guarding. That's face guarding right there. Great steal. Jump stop.
Turnover. Shot goes too high over the square and won't fall through for Thurman Ellison. Lady Trojans balls. The clock stops at 5:30 here in the third quarter. 25-point lead for the Titans.
3 ball.
It's one way to beat that zone if you can get a good 3 ball up, but it's off the mark. However, it's tracked down over in the left corner by a Trojan.
There's the trap.
There's the trap that we talked about earlier, and a jump ball.
I was expecting that trap to happen more in that corner, Glenn. When you're able to utilize those baselines and the out-of-bounds line, and you can get a solid foot out of bounds and leave the other team nowhere to go, that's how you run a zone defense in those corners. And great job by the Titans there on the second pass there to go over and trap. But their defense is just tenacious.
Just about wholesale substitutions there for the Titans. For the 5 players on the floor go back on to the bench, and it looks like we have many of our starters back out for the Titans. Loose ball on the floor, struggle for control, and a foul.
I think that'll be on Dee Weathers. That might be her 3rd or 4th. Second. Pardon me.
So 2 fouls thus far in the second half, both belonging to the Titans. Now we see some offense being called out by the Lady Trojans.
There's some movement, but not a ton. She might get a 5-second call here, Glenn, if she doesn't get the ball. Yep, there it is.
There it is. Trojans are going to have to keep all the players on the floor, keep that clock on their head, and know to come help.
Yeah.
At some point, not leave the players stranded out there.
Absolutely. You can't rely on your coach yelling at you or the official counting. Go help your teammate out. Call for the ball. You got to take some authority on the basketball court.
Turnover there as the ball got out in front of Thurman Ellison. Lady Trojans will get another crack at an offensive possession here.
There's some movement. Oh, deep three.
High three ball is going to go off the top of the backboard for Owens.
I think, Glenn, if she takes a dribble and steps into it, it's more of a reasonable three-point shot. It's just shot selection for some of these teams. I think a lot of these teams are just throwing up a lot of shots where if they would just settle down, jump stop, move the ball, and work the ball that they're like they're able to, they could get some more buckets.
I believe that's going to be a foul on Peak as she essentially armbarred Dee Weathers. That's Asia Peak's third now. 4:08 remaining in the third quarter. So Weathers, her second trip to the free throw line, where she's 2 of 2, and now make it 2 of 3. The announcer curse holds true. Second shot on the way. See a look at the Lady Titans bench. Rattled around inside, but wouldn't go through. She misses both of those. Lady Trojans with possession. Lindsay's going to come out and guard and try to deflect it away. Lady Trojans hang on to it. They were trying to get it into the lane. It's going to trickle out of bounds. Titans will take over.
Just a lot of cluttering and no spacing. You got to create that space on the court so that the defense is spread out, so that you're able to attack these gaps and go hard at the hole instead of pulling up from 25, 26 feet. I like the move.
Yeah, trying to step through there was Kone. She draws the foul. That'll be on Owens. That's first foul for Kone. Makes trip number 3 back to the free throw line. She's 2 of 4 on the night. Make it 2 of 5.
Must be something about this hoop, Glenn. I feel like both teams are struggling to make buckets down here.
Kanai Kennedy checks in for the Trojans.
Great job there by the refs for a teachable moment for 2 young teams, as we mentioned, Glenn. Instead of just blowing the whistle right away, have a teachable moment and teach them what to do and what not to do there in that situation, so that they can learn from that.
Going to get a foul underneath on the attempt to rebound.
Looks like man-to-man defense for the Titans now, Glenn.
Last foul was on Dee Weathers. That's 3 for her, something to keep an eye on. Lindsay comes up with it in the lane, and she'll draw a foul and make her 5th trip to the free throw line tonight.
Great job attacking the rack. If she jump stops, she might be able to go a little bounce pass and lead her teammate right into a layup, but earn him at the charity stripe, right?
There you go. The shot rattles around and falls through. Eleven points unofficially. Lindsay going for number 12. Rolls off the back of the iron into the hands of Owens, and now a travel.
I think the officials are almost reluctant to call some of these. Just A, to keep the game moving, but B, it's almost similar to a freshman boys game, or just a lower level game where you're still learning.
Kone drives in. She has 8 points in the game now, according to my sheet, 33-5. 28-point lead for the Titans. The Trojans continue to struggle to execute on offense. Ariana Sargent will come into the game for Owens. Referee's talking about getting steps in. That's the second ball he's had to go look for tonight.
That's why you need little brothers and sisters in the stands. like I love when kids bring siblings to Bacon because they're the ball kid or whatever. So
Right.
you know, you got to have those little siblings around and give them a free Gatorade out of it. I don't know.
Boy, Lindsay tried to drive through a double team there and draws the foul. Nice job by her. So Ariana Sargent picks up her first. It's the team's fourth, and surprise, surprise, Lindsay back at the free throw line. She's taking up residence there tonight, it appears. About to run out of room on my sheet.
Just start paying rent the amount of time she's gone there today.
Give her a key.
Exactly.
First shot was no good. Score holds at 33-5. 2:44 remaining in the third quarter. Second shot on the way. Falls through.
There's not a lot of urgency, Glenn, from either teams to step out of bounds to get the basketball.
I think she might have been over the line when she brought that one in, but referees, to your point earlier, may be willing to let that go.
Yeah. There have been a couple times I've seen like the refs, like usually the ref has to touch the ball before the ball's in, and the teams have just taken it. There's a shot. Oh, just nothing. To fall.
Weathers.
Oh, here's a good transition.
Weathers pulls that down, but he's trying to lead Thurman Ellison just too far out in front of her.
It's a good idea. Just take a little mustard off that one next time.
Come the Trojans again. Peak's going to bring it down quickly, and dangerous pass. Tracked down by Sargent. Back out to Peak. Shields. Sargent. Sargent's in trouble. They got to come help to what we talked about, and Peak did come over a little bit to where Sargent was able to bounce pass over to her.
Good crossover there from Peak, and it's a good pass. Just it's long, but Lindsay was playing good defense and got beat on that crossover. Here comes another platoon swap for the Titans.
Jackson, Hassan, Wallace are in for sure. Parker. And we're going to get some subs in for the Trojans as well. Trinity Sanders came in along with Holmes. 34-5 as we approach 1:45 in the third quarter. Drive down the sideline.
Looks like we're going to get an illegal screen.
First time we've seen that called tonight.
You know, it's just, you know, being solid, Glenn, when you set those screens, not leaning into someone, and whether your arms are crossed or they're down at your waist, just setting a good solid screen, staying still, and not forcing a charge, but it happens.
So turnover by the Trojans on offense. 1:33 remaining in the third quarter. Titans will bring it in. Looks like North College Hill is going to step up, be a little more aggressive on defense here. Forcing the player over against the sideline. And there's the turnover. See if the Trojans can hang on to it, and a travel.
I think, like, I don't know if the ball just got like pinned against her body, Glenn, or if it was a carry or what, but just as I mentioned, just some silly turnovers, and you can't let them all go. So
Titans ball underneath their own basket. A little bit of frustration there by Hassan, as it seemed like nobody was coming to help. She was finally able to get it in. Now passing the ball around in traffic. Shot's going to go up off the side of the backboard. Long shot just inside the three-point line. Is going to tickle the net, but not hit the rim up top. Titans hang on to it. There's a heave into the hand of the Trojans underneath. And looks like we're going to get a foul coming in from behind. Perhaps on Mackenzie Watson.
fun fact, Glenn, you know, a lot of people ask for the over-the-back call in high school basketball. Over-the-back is not a foul. It is a push. So when you're at a game and people are yelling, over the back, it's not a foul. It's a push. But that's just a little fun tip that I love to mention to our parents when they start asking for that foul.
Great insight on that as usual. Struggle for control. It's going to be off the Trojan and go to the Titans. Just 34 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's 34-5, and Unfortunately, the Trojans have not found a way to score here in this third quarter. Titans with the ball as we approach half a minute. Might have been a moving screen there.
Yep.
Turnover.
Or it might have stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, I think it was out of bounds. He didn't call the
the
screen, but it looked like it could have been one.
Yep.
Trojans are going to have about 20 seconds, assuming they can gain control of the basketball, which they cannot. So it'll go right back over to the Titans.
Lazy passes, and you know, it's just not a lot of communication happening right now from the Trojans.
Titans lucky to hang on to that one. We're going to get a whistle with 14.3. So the Trojans will get it back on alternating possession. Opportunity for them to try to dent the scoring column here in the third quarter. Going to have to hurry down to 10 seconds now. Inside the three-point line, it's going to be a turnover. Hassan's going to come up with that one. Battle for control. Wallace tracks it down, but she's being trailed by a Trojan. And at the end of the third quarter, it's 34-5, just 6 points for the Titans in that quarter. David and I are going to step away for the quarter break. You're watching ICRC-TV Sports.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable, whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard. Let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back for the fourth quarter. Girls varsity basketball, the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans taking on the North College Hill Lady Trojans. We're in the fourth quarter and we're underway. Whistle across the floor.
I don't think they were set, but a little miscommunication from the officials there, but we're back to play.
I'll try it again. Didn't reset the clock. Shot goes up, rattles around, and falls through.
So it's just a great take there from Dee Weathers, Glenn. Just a hard power dribble to the right and throw it up for the lay-in to extend that lead.
Shot goes over the rim. Pulled in by Hassan. Come the Titans again. Weathers, hard contact on the floor and a foul. Going to be a charge.
Now that's where Glenn, if you see someone standing, you do a Euro step, like as you just signaled to me, that's her fourth. So that's something to be worried about. Dee Weathers has played lights out for this Titans team right now.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get an announcement, but unofficially I do have her with 4 fouls. However, Lady Trojans back on offense. Holmes backs up, resets the offense, tries to come back into the three-point line, loses her footing, but able to get the ball away to save the possession. Hassan aggressively guarding over on the left side. Lady Trojans will reset and try it again. Holmes is going to drive in, tries to get Weathers to jump over on the jump stop. He can't quite execute it, but a shot goes up and falls through.
I think that was
Holmes.
I think she was able to be there for that rebound. 3 ball, got it.
Whoa! From way downtown. Dee Weathers with her second 3 of the game. 39-7, a quick answer by the Titans. 32-point deficit. Trojans trying to find something to work against this aggressive Titans defense. Now we're going to get a trap down in the corner, baseline drive, and an up and down.
Jump ball.
Well, not an up and down then.
That's what happens, Glenn, when both teams just make contact as another person's going up. That'll be a jump ball, and that's another bucket. Ooh, just off.
Yeah, right from 15 feet. Holmes just off the mark as it hits the back iron, but here come the Titans down quickly with a heave. Hard contact on the floor. There's going to be some sore players on the way home tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's where we thank our athletic training staff and their ability to make a solid bag of ice to ice all the sore things that you could have injured.
I believe that last foul was on Owens, 24. Have her unofficially with 2. Quit getting the announcements, and it's hard to see the officials from our vantage point over here. Their hands where they're indicating the numbers are blocked, so we'll do our best to keep it as accurate as we can. 5:48 remaining, 39-7. Shot does not fall through. Titans track down possession. Viscone goes up strong, draws a foul.
Foul's on 14 for North College Hill. That'd be Trinity Sanders.
Yep, her first. Viscone back to the line, her first scoring opportunity here, the second half. That one rolls across the top of the rim, hits the glass, bounces off to the right. Second shot on the way.
In and out.
Yep. Trojans will bring it down. Hassan reaches in and deflects that one away. Possession will stay with the Trojans over in front of their bench next to the scorer's table. Ball's inbounded. Hey! 3 ball from the left side, way downtown. That was Holmes. 5 points in the game now for her. One of the best looking shots we've seen for the Lady Trojans all night. As they close the deficit to 29. Lindsay all alone, 3 ball, no good. Trojans come up with it underneath. Now they got to figure out who's going to bring it down and which offense they're going to run. Holmes comes down, is closely guarded. Kicks it over to Shields, hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to send it back up top over to Holmes. Holmes to the left side. Offense goes in motion somewhat for the Lady Trojans. 3 ball coming up off the mark for Mitchell. Lindsay uncontested until now. She's pushed from behind, no foul, but she gets her first points of the quarter, 41-10. The lead's back up to 31 points as we approach 4:30.
It's almost like she was wanting contact, Glenn. I mean, she kind of just slowed down. At that point, just go up strong to the hoop and get the 2 points and get back on defense. But she was trying to draw the and one, and I think the refs noticed the same thing we did.
Reaching in and tapping that one away is Kone. Struggle for possession. The Trojans come up with it, but sliding out of bounds is Owens. It'll be Titans ball. Excuse me, that wasn't Owens, that was Horton.
Another platoon swap here for the Titans. There's 4 minutes left in the game. Up 31.
And in for North College Hill, Deja Lunsford.
So Lunsford comes back in with her 4 fouls.
Yeah, she's got to be careful here.
We haven't seen her much, and I don't think we saw her at all in the third quarter, and obviously not here so far in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Lindsay goes into the paint, passes it off. Quick shot put up. Rainbows over the rim. Tracked down by the Lady Trojans. 2-on-2. Pull up. Won't go. Tip back into the hands of Watson. Watson's going to go down with 2 defenders trailing. And she gets her 6th point of the night. 43-10.
Probably a smart play by Lunsford there to let off and not get that 5th foul. You could at least contest them, but I think it was smart just to back off, give them the layup, and not have to worry about fouling out.
Face guarding again pays off. Here come the Titans. Jackson puts it up hard. Lindsay's able to track it down somehow. And out of bounds. Possession to the Lady Trojans. 3:19, it's 43-10. Both teams with 6 fouls here halfway through the fourth quarter. Lunsford with the ball up top. Going to try that right side. Lunsford's going to hold it again. Now Lindsay's going to come out and try to tap it away. Lunsford has to back off. Cross-court pass. Nearly losing it. Brought back in. That's Holmes. Again, nearly losing it. Holmes is going to throw one up. Bounces in the box and off the front of the iron. Lindsay tracks it down for the Titans. She has it tipped away, but hangs on to possession. Pulls up at 15 feet. No good. Lindsay came in aggressive there. No call. Bringing it down is Mitchell. Mitchell's going to run into trouble on the other side by Parker. Kick it back up top to Lunsford. They work it around the left side now. Shot up. No good. Holmes goes for that aggressively. 2 players on the floor, and the Titans player holding her head over there. Just her head might have contacted the floor.
Might have been more out of frustration than anything, Glenn. It's like
it's Jariah Parker.
Yeah, it looks like she got up just fine. I think just more frustrated more than anything.
She'll take a seat on the bench and be replaced on the floor by Thurman Ellison. Trojans inbound the ball. Lunsford with it on the left side. Kicks it back down to Mitchell. And Mitchell going to end up in a tie-up with Wallace. His tempers flare a little bit to the physical contact down there. 2:06 remaining, a 33-point lead for the Titans, and it'll be their ball. Lunsford down to guard Lindsay on the inbound pass. Lindsay's able to go up top and get it, brings the ball down just outside of the 3-point line. She switches direction, goes to the right, passes it off. Shot goes up and through for Watson. So now we're at that 35-point mark.
Yeah, unless there's an official's timeout or a coach wants one, Glenn, every dead ball, the clock will keep running till the end of the game, unless North College Hill gets it back to 30 points.
Holmes had a little bit of trouble there, was able to recover the ball and get a shot up, but it's no good. Loose ball on the floor. Trojans will track it down in the Titans offensive half court and pass it back to Lunsford to set the offense. We're under 1:20 to go now in the fourth quarter. It's going to be stolen away there by Jackson. Having trouble maintaining her balance. She avoids getting trapped in the corner. Lindsay's going to pull up from the right side, and it'll fall through.
It's like they're going to sub for the official's call, and the clock will stop because of that.
Jackson comes up gimpy on that one. She limps back over to the bench. Lunsford will inbound. Bring the ball down. We're under a minute now. Mitchell, and it's not Mitchell, but Lady Trojans in trouble on the other side. That was Acheo. Trojans hang on to possession. Lunsford with the ball. Clock continued to move during that sequence as we described earlier. Now Mitchell's going to put up a 3 that's off the mark. Out of bounds in front of the Titans cheerleaders. Under 20 seconds to go now in regulation. Lindsay with the ball. Lunsford thought about reaching in from behind, but she's going to elect to finish this game instead of fouling out if she can, but travel call underneath, and that should just about do it as the clock continues to run. The referee will bring the ball down, but that will do it. Your final score, the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans 47 and North College Hill Lady Trojans 10. Nice scoring sequence for both teams there in the final quarter, David.
Yeah, both teams just did a really good job of attacking the basket and taking some smarter shots and, finally being able to hit some shots, whether it was a deep three or, making a layup. So, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, both teams super young, a lot of rebuilding, but some bright futures for the Titans and the Trojans.
So that will do it for our broadcast of this girls' game. Once again, the final, the Titans 47, the Lady Trojans 10. From my partner David Olson and our entire production crew, I'm Glenn Olson. You've been watching ICRC-TV Sports.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's take a time out to talk about educational athletics. That means the school sports are an extension of the classroom. Student athletes earn the privilege of participation in sports by succeeding during the school day first, before they put on the team uniform after. Student athletes prove that with better attendance records, higher GPAs, and fewer discipline issues than non-student athletes. That's what it means to be a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's take a time out to talk about educational athletics. That means the school sports are an extension of the classroom. Student athletes earn the privilege of participation in sports by succeeding during the school day first, before they put on the team uniform after. Student athletes prove that with better attendance records, higher GPAs, and fewer discipline issues than non-student athletes. That's what it means to be a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that
Deflection, rebound, stuck back up, will not go. Another stick back, won't go. Mad Hatters with the rebound. Again, it won't go. 4 opportunities, and they couldn't get one to fall. Titans will reset on offense in their offensive half court. Drive into the paint, jump stop, and it'll fall through for White.
A great jump stop. I'd like to see the Mad Hatters here, Glenn, just settle down, and if they're in the paint, maybe take a power dribble back, give them a little bit more space under the hoop, and kiss that top corner of one of the on the backboard of the white square, and it'll go in every time.
Deflected out of bounds, but possession will remain with the Mad Hatters. Pass it off to Ely, who sets the offense up top. Thinking about driving in is Markwell. Will pass it around the left side, baseline drive. A little bit of a struggle for control. Markwell up top, off the mark, no good. Hauled in by Israel.
Another great offensive possession for the Mad Hatters, Glenn. Just can't get anything to fall. They're moving the ball really well. They're breaking that St. Bernard 2-3 zone pretty good. So we'll see if St. Bernard's able to score here, but then if the Mad Hatters are able to break that ice on top of their basket.
Still 4-0. Titans with the ball underneath, trying to spin around. A little bit of a wild shot by Miller, won't go. Mad Hatters pull it down, now racing down the court. That was Vest with the ball, passing it off to Bradley. Now around the left side, another shot, no good. Titans with possession. Pull up,
nice
and it falls through for White. He's got all 6 points in this contest so far as we're under 5 minutes. Nice behind the back pass, trying to break through the defense, and off the abdomen of the official on the sideline, it'll be Titans ball.
So we're getting a couple substitutions for both teams. But Glenn, you're talking about White. He's averaging 9.1 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. So he's obviously a facilitator on that Titan offense, and we'll see what he's able to do the rest of this evening against this tough Mad Hatters defense.
As pace continues, that scoring average will fall early. 4:49, the ball is inbounded, and White will bring it down. They'll pass it off. Smith with it. Round the right side. Up back in the hands of Wilson over on the right wing. Down in the corner to Lee. Wilson back over to Smith. Going to try the left side now. Feed inside to White. He's stripped as he goes up.
I think it might have been on the floor.
Yeah, on the floor. No shot. Bradley, is going to pick up the first foul of the game. Titans ball underneath their own basket, driving into the paint. Wild shot up, and it falls through for Dier Lee.
It's a great finish there, Glenn, by Lee.
Nice job of fighting through the press here by the Mad Hatters. Now can they execute offensively? Little floater won't go through. It's hauled back in by the Titans. The shot was taken by Bradley for the Mad Hatters. There's White up and off the rim, and give them two more.
I think we have got to see a timeout here soon from the Mad Hatters, Glenn. I mean, both teams are running a 2-3 defense, which you don't see a lot now. You see a lot of man-to-man. You won't see both teams running a zone, but St. Bernard's breaking it with no issues.
A whistle on the far end of the court. Waiting to sub in is Greg Miller, but we did have a foul called. So Dier Lee whistled for that foul for the Titans, his first, team's first. Mad Hatters ball underneath their basket, 3:42 remaining in quarter number one.
Good pass.
Yeah, sure was. Shot
there
goes up and falls through for Ricardo Bradley, excuse me.
Oh, there it is. That's how you break a zone defense. And one.
Wow, Markwell reached up and made contact. He'll pick up his first foul. Team's second.
It's a great job by Miller here just to find the open gap. He jump fakes. One guy goes over him, and Markwell, it could have been either way. It looked like he got a lot of ball, but the refs are going to call it. And Miller's at the line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Shot does not fall through, so the score holds at 12-2. Whistle in the far corner.
We've got, mentioning whistles, we've got Bill Sisto, Scott Hartley, and Paul Maffey, our crew tonight. Another wonderful veteran crew here. If you have any interest in being an official, reach out to your local athletic director or just go to ohsaa.org to learn how to become a high school official.
Long three-pointer was put up by Wilson. It won't go. Mad Hatters down. Markwell goes up. It's over the rim. Brought down by Wilson.